Hey everyone, Greg here from GB Productions. We're back on the silver Cummins again today. Couple of problems I noticed this morning. First thing when we started it up to bring it up here is there's no power steering fluid in it. The power steering was groaning a bit, and it's been fine every other time until this morning, and we went back and looked and there's a little puddle of hydraulic fluid on the ground back there, so it leaked it out somehow. So the first thing is going to be to put some more fluid in it and start it up again and see if we can see where it's leaking from. But anyway, without further ado, let's dig into the power steering to start with. Alright, so we're just going to start by doing a quick little cleanup on the bottom side here so that we can actually see where the fluid's coming from if it is leaking. So I'm just going to try and hit a few spots that are really bad with brake clean and then hit them with the air, and that's about all we can do. So you do want to be careful what you're spraying brake clean into, because it does obviously cut all oil and grease. So you don't want to shove it in anywhere that you know the oil seal isn't very good or anything like that. The nut that holds the pitman arm onto the steering box isn't even tight all the way.
Where is that?
There's a gap. The lock washer isn't even flattened, so that's good. I can't imagine it's come loose, so probably whoever installed it didn't torque it or anything. But that should let us hopefully see where the fluid's coming from. There's no more drips waiting, at least. No more drips waiting to drip, so worth a try, I guess. I think these ones are transmission cooler lines, and these ones I can't see where they're going to, but that must be I'm not sure. These ones are going to another cooler as well, so could be something to do with AC, but it shouldn't be. But anyway, that should do us some justice to try and see where the leak's coming from. So I guess let's try and put some oil in the top now, and then we'll fire it up and see where it's coming from, hopefully. So you can kind of see in the light of the flashlight there, it's kind of washed out, but that star-shaped cap there, that's the power steering fluid reservoir. The power steering pump is driven off of the gear case that the injection pump is driven off of as well. Pain in the butt to get to put fluid in. You got to have a huge long funnel, so we're gonna try this one here and see if it'll work. So I'll take the cap off now to show you that there's no fluid in here at all. It doesn't even show on the stick.
To turn the exposure down before we go much further here.
So I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, the stick is completely dry. There's no oil on it at all. And if you look in the case there, I don't know if you can see with me sticking the light in there at the same time, but there's basically no fluid in there. And the last time I checked it, it was at least still showing on the stick. So the puddle on the ground definitely confirms that we lost all the fluid on the ground. So I'm going to add some here now, and then I'll show you again. Alright. ATF. See if I can, this is not going to work well. Let's see if I can spill it all over everywhere, because I can't see where I'm pouring to, or if I can even hit the funnel with the oil. Oh boy. Oh boy. Stop that. Stop that. Can you see the level at all with the flashlight shining on there?
I can't see much of anything.
But you can see into the reservoir?
Yeah,
Okay, so just let me know if red starts screaming up towards the top.
it's coming.
Oil everywhere.
As you can see there.
Oh, good. It's
now,
overfull now. That's
now
excellent.
it's leaking
Wonderful.
because it just comes up on you there, and even if you tell them to stop,
Yeah,
it takes a few minutes.
Oh, there's still some in the funnel. Yeah, that's just the way it goes.
I don't think it's too big of a deal to fill it over for our purposes here, but
It kind of messes up our leak check, but that's coming off of the pump housing, not the lines, so hopefully that'll be okay still. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of ATF on parts of the truck, stop stuff from rusting, so I'm not too concerned about that.
all right. So now we're gonna put the cap back on here.
Yeah, which is going to push even more oil out, but you know, that's what you get.
Oh, stop shaking.
Come on. Now we've flowed a bunch of fluid out on the ground. If I look here, I think it's probably still okay though. Yeah, it's not on the part that we cleaned already, so. Yeah, a little puddle on the ground, but the parts that I cleaned for leak check are still okay, so. Really good?
Yeah. So I'm guessing you want me to stay here?
Yeah, just stay there and watch, and if it starts firing it out of there, just yell for me to shut it off. There goes nothing. So based on that, Mitchell couldn't see any leaks under there when we had the truck running, and I turned the wheels back and forth a bit too. And while it was running, I pulled the cap back off, and the level was a little bit lower than when we finished, because of course it was over full, but still right up in the top. So if I pull the cap now for you to be able to see, hopefully. If I shine the light in the right place, you can see the fluid is right there. A little bit murky, but it's right up full. So next thing we're gonna do, I guess, is button stuff up here and get it going again, and just while the truck's moving, run the steering all the way back and forth one side to the other and just see if anything changes. Otherwise, I wonder if it was maybe that I don't know, maybe the fluid didn't leak today. Maybe it leaked out over time sitting, but even still, it shouldn't do that. So there's probably some kind of a leak somewhere that we'll find eventually, hopefully.
I would say it's likely on one of the hoses. They got.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, it truck sat for at least 2 weeks, I think. So there's nothing saying that that oil leaked today when I started it up. So who knows? Like I said, it's been fine right from when I got the truck and got the power steering working again, because the reservoir, the whole system was empty when I got the truck, and I looked high and low and couldn't find a leak. Got it filled back up and got it primed, and it's been fine since then. So I wonder if maybe it's something to do with the position that the pump stops in. I don't know how the pump works really. So, but anyway, we'll close it up here and I'll run it back and forth and work the steering a bit and see if anything changes, I guess. Alright, so power steering problem turned out to not be a problem, I guess. For now. It's a Dodge. So we're just going to leave it for now and continue to run it and keep an eye on the fluid level and just see It may have been slowly leaking from way back when I first got the power steering fixed, and I just didn't check it frequently enough. There was a puddle back there, so that begs a question, but we just did a whole bunch of working of the power steering and there's not a drop out of it, so I would say we're just going to leave it for now and see what happens, but otherwise on to the next thing. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have a comment or a question about our kind of waste of a time check here, just feel free to drop it off there. See you on the next one.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at GBProductions6 and on Instagram at GBProductions1.
Right.
Peace out.